Hi guys, welcome in. My name is Yasmin Machado, and today we are gonna have a serious conversation about certain things. Don't get out of your country if you don't know this. So, I am Brazilian. I moved to the United States 3 years ago. I was 18, about to turn 19 years old, and so it was a shock for me in certain areas, and I could adapt very easily to certain things because of my mindset. So every now and then I meet a Brazilian or I meet somebody that is from another country here, right? We have people from all over the world, and they very often say and express that they feel stuck. And when I'm saying they feel stuck, it's not just financially, it's not just not finding their path and their passion and making plans for the future, but I'm talking about literally not even speaking the language. And I want to start from this because that is a game changer. Once you learn enough to communicate your needs, what are you trying to achieve, who you are, and to express yourself, your feelings, your values, your ideas, once you learn that, you have power. So my mom, I complain a lot about certain things in my family that I don't agree with, but I can be very grateful for learning this from a very young age, that my mom, my dad, and my grandmother, my dad and my grandmother especially, they raised me saying knowledge is power, and they couldn't be more right about it. I learned this very early since I was a baby basically, and I took that to my heart because I understood that if I lack knowledge on something, somebody's going to be in front of me for whatever it is. Maybe it's for the job, maybe it's for the school, maybe it's for an application in some place, or maybe it's for a relationship. I took it to my heart that if I learned everything, the most out of everything that I could, I would be in front of people. And I was right. Thanks God. I think once you learn, I am 100% sure. Once you learn the language, then it's a game changer because you can communicate, you can go after your things, you can go after your dreams. And so learning the language before you going, learning the basics before you going, and being prepared to not being understood, to not being accepted, and really to feel embarrassed, and it happens. My English is not perfect, it's far away from being perfect, but if I have a message and I want to pass this message to somebody, for either at my work or in my relationship with my family that I have in here, if I can do this, I can do anything, right? And we are always developing ourselves, we are always learning. I'm always trying to learn new ways to communicate, new words and everything. But if you don't know this, the rest is not gonna work. And I gotta be honest, I work with a lot of people. I have private clients. No, I'm not an English teacher. I am far away from that, but I am a yoga instructor, and I had to learn from a young age as well how to control my emotions, and yoga saved my life, but this is gonna be for another video. Once you know how to communicate your needs and your expectations and your goals, either at your job, for your boss, in your relationship, you can achieve a lot, because people will treat you the way you present yourself, the way you show yourself to the world. And if it's, if somebody is truly disrespecting you or whatever it is, then you just take yourself away from that environment, and God is gonna take care of that person, or you will if something needs to be done. But the main message here is that you need to understand it doesn't matter if you are moving to Japan, to Italy, to Netherlands. It doesn't matter. You gotta learn the language enough to communicate your needs, expectations, your feelings, and to introduce yourself. Why? Because when you tell people what you're looking for, there's always going to be somebody wanting the same things or needing your services, needing your mindset, needing your presence. And so when I first got here, I was working at a hotel, right? And I was doing everything that I could possibly do in that hotel. I was cleaning, I was helping people, I was helping at the bar, at the kitchen, I was helping to manage in the laundry. I was doing everything that you can possibly imagine, because I got here and I was like, okay, I need to make money, and I also need to learn how things works here. You know, everything is different. The way you get a car, the way you go to the bank, the way you buy stuff, the way you go to the doctor, everything, it's so different. It's so different. And so I was independent, of course, in terms of I knew how to take care of myself, but I was in a new country. And so to start from zero, something that you have been living for the past 18 years, which is not a lot, but you know, you gotta be prepared for this mentally, emotionally, physically, and also spiritually, which is something really, really important. And so I got here and I was like, okay, I'm gonna do everything that they need me to do, and I will present myself the best, in the best way, every time. So I would work, doesn't matter if I was helping people, if I was cleaning, if I was just in the laundry where nobody else would see me, I would always present myself in the best way. If they didn't give me an uniform, I would go ahead and buy a full set of black pants and black t-shirt, and I would make sure that I would look professional, because what people see, people respect, and they will respect you, and they will give you an opportunity if they see that you are ready. If you're not ready, then, you know. And so every opportunity that I had to talk with my boss about, how do you do this? How do you inspect these rooms? How do you clean this in a faster way? What is the best advice that you could give me to make this bed? How should I present myself whenever a client asks me something? And I would always make sure that I would implement all of those things into this job. And so it was fast. It didn't take too much time for them to notice that I was learning the language really fast. And detail here, I speak Portuguese. I don't speak Spanish originally. In Brazil, unfortunately, we are the only country in South America that we do not speak Spanish. So I came here, and who is here knows that most of the people here that are Hispanic, they don't speak a lot of English. They speak Spanish. Even if they're working, they don't care. They speak their Spanish. I respect that. I think everybody should learn the language of the country that they are in. However, I started learning Spanish too, because it was the closest to Portuguese, and this is how I was learning, and this is how I was communicating. And so we had two sides. We had the Hispanic people, and we had also the American people. And I was in the middle of them both, trying to get everything that I could from both sides. So I would spend time with the ladies that used to work in this hotel. They were older than me, you know, different backgrounds, different life situations, and I would spend time with the American people who were also from different backgrounds, different life situations, different struggles. And so I started watching all of these things, and I started learning word by word, expression by expression, in both ways. And so it didn't take too much time for them to notice, oh, Yasmin is really learning the language, she's really putting the work, let's give her an opportunity. So after a few months, I mean, not even like 2 months, it was a month and a half, And then they said, you know what, if you need more hours, you can work more hours here. Because I would always be asking, like, what can I do? What can I do to help you? What else can I do for you? Do you need anything from me? I will leave. I didn't have a car also, so I would say, hey, I am clocking out, but my dad is going to pass to pick me up at this time, which it would be sometimes 2 hours, 3 hours after me clocking out. I would say, if you need anything, I will be there in the lobby. So, you know, I wouldn't be milking the clock, which is an expression that they use here a lot. I wouldn't, but I would make sure that my boss is aware that I am available and willing to work as many hours they needed me to in order to make more money. Either they want me or not, I will be there. So I would always let them know that I would be in the lobby. And if they didn't need me, I would just be reading my book, studying English, watching videos, journaling. There is tons of things to be done, always. And so I got visibility at this space. I started working a lot. After that, I started helping to manage. I was doing translations with my broken English, with my broken Spanish. I was translating the message and making sure that everybody would be included, making sure that everybody would understand everything. And so 3-4 months passed and I was happy. I was making good money and I was achieving my goals, which was making money and learning everything that I could, not just the language, but the culture, how to present myself. Okay, I am, then I turned 19. I am 19. What do I want from this space? What do I want from me in this country? And so I started positioning myself in the way that I could possibly see that moment that would take me closer to my goals. And one day, people cut it off the extra hours. The new manager cut it off the hours and I was like, oh my God, what am I gonna do now? No problem. It's always an opportunity. Everything is an opportunity. Everything is a learning. Even if it's bad, if you put this mindset, there's no loss. It's always a winning, And so I messaged the agency that sent me to the hotel, my boss. Let's call him Mr. Boss because I don't want to mention his name. So I called Mr. Boss and I said, hey, they're cutting my hours here at the hotel. I will have nothing else to do and I am really willing to learn things from you. If you need anybody, if you need anything, just let me know and I will work for free in order to learn. Immediately he got the phone. He said, hey, Yasmin, are you free Monday? I said, yes, sir, I am. He's Hispanic, so yeah. And then we met Monday at Starbucks and we had a talk. And he said, okay, so I have you work in this hotel. Somebody from my company is leaving. I have these 20 hotels to be managed in the city and I have nobody else to do this. Can you do this? I say, yes, I can. I had no idea what I was doing. I had no clue what I was about to get in. But I knew the job and I am smart and I am always willing to, glow up, literally. So I said, yes, sure, I am ready. I can start immediately. So he said, okay, well, make sure that you are going to say that you're leaving that place. Make sure that they know that it's going to take a week and then you're going to be done. Be responsible. I was like, no, I want to be responsible. I don't want to just leave. I want to make sure that they know with notice, here they ask you any place. I mean, you should always make sure that you're being responsible before leaving because you never know. Do not ever close a door. And so leave a good impression always. That's the main thing. Always leave a good impression, even if people are being rude, even if people are not understanding you. I had multiple times, I had tons of situations where, and as you are watching me, you can tell I have a strong accent and my English is not perfect. I make mistakes. I don't speak properly, fully. However, I can position myself, and I can pass the message, which is the most important thing. So I had tons of situations where people would be really rude to me. You know, they would notice that I'm not from here, clearly because of my accent, sometimes because the way that I look. So I had tons of situations where women and men were being rude to me, making fun of my face in front of others, you know. And so it's just part of the journey. It's part of the journey. Don't take it to your heart. You're not going to even remember these people whenever you are in the level that you want to be. So it's just part of the teaching. So let's go back to the meeting that I had with Mr. Boss. And so he was great. He gave me this opportunity. He's a very smart man. And so I started like learning with the person literally for 3-4 days before that person leave the company. Leave the country for personal reasons. So I was like 19 years old. I had to manage 20 something hotels, 22 or 23 hotels in the housekeeping, houseman, in the cleaning department, and hiring, you know, for certain positions, firing people. And I learned so much. I am so grateful for Mr. Boss giving me the opportunity for working for him, learning from him, and being in touch with multiple people from different parts of the world, you know, from all around the world, where I could learn how they used to live, how their culture, their mindset. That is powerful, because once you are in touch with multiple cultures, you're just gonna have a different vision of the world. And so even though I haven't visited many places yet, I was certain that would change my life by the fact that I was managing these people. Most of them were really, really smart, and they had careers in their, you know, in their countries. I could learn a lot from them, and I am very grateful for that. So I spent time in that place, and I could learn all of these things. And I also learned how to have boundaries. And then the personal life came right after that, because I used to live to work. That was literally my life. I used to spend 14 hours working, then I would come back home, I would do whatever I needed to do, like take a shower, eat something, go to bed. Then I would sleep for like 5-6 hours. I would wake up and then go to work, and I had no life besides that. And so after a couple months, life here passed really fast. It's funny. After a couple months, I started living my personal life. I started like understanding more about how should I go to the doctor here? How should I buy a car? How should I, you know, go to the bank? What is the best way to learn? What is the best church to go? All of this crazy stuff. And that taught me the things that I am telling you right now, because I have friends and I see a lot of people saying, I really want to change countries. How do I do it? What should I do it? What should I do? How should I do it? And I always say, like, are you ready to change your mindset? Are you ready to literally leave everything that you have been living behind? Because I had to cut it off people. I had to cut off family members. I had to cut off friends. And they were not even expecting for that. I didn't know that I was going to do it. But it was so natural, you know, when you glow up, when you elevate yourself into a new position, into a new level, it's gonna be natural. Certain people are not gonna be hanging out with you anymore. And that is clear as water. That is clear as day. However, I wasn't even aware of that. Today I am, nowadays I am, but I wasn't. And so because of all of these things that brought me confusion and questioning. And I was like, am I a bad friend? Am I a bad family member? Am I being rude? Am I being selfish? And the answers are no. Especially women, we learn that we have to share everything, that we have to always like make sure people know about what we are doing, with who and what. And I mean, I was raised in a very traditional family, literally. And so I was raised where women cannot do anything, men can do everything. Women doesn't do anything because it's a sin, it's bad, it's ugly. Men's can do all of the things because they're men, and so just by the fact of being a man, it's an excuse for them to act reckless and to do whatever they want. And I know this is a lie. It's not about religion, it's not about just the culture, it's not just my family in specific. I think it's a system, it's a huge lie that people have been telling others. They have been spreading just lies and ideas about women and about society and about the Bible. And so yeah, so we gotta learn how to relearn. We gotta put these things behind, because God is not talking about that, the Bible is not talking about that, and this is just the opinion, the vision from these people. And it's okay, they can have their opinion, they can have their perspective, but if they're not willing to accept yours and to respect yours, they shouldn't be in your life. And this is how I ended up without friends. Without friends and most of my family. No, just kidding. I am here for them for whatever they need. I love them, I love all of them, I will always do. But I love myself and I love my boundaries. And if you learn how to respect yourself in that level, you're gonna have less trouble, because this knowledge didn't come easily. I had to hit my head on the ground and learn and hit it again and hit it again. So I hope you understand, before you change your environment, start changing your mindset. Start having the idea. It's going to be difficult. People are gonna laugh at my face. People are gonna make fun of me. People are going to, mistreat me. People are going to ignore me. It's going to be hard. I'm gonna be alone. I am going to be in a new place. There's nobody to call for help besides God. You can always put your knees on the floor and pray for, but you gotta be strong. And knowing that before you're going through is a huge plus. It's a huge bonus, because you're gonna be ready. It's part of the process. It's easy when people say that, but it's actually another thing when you're actually living it. And so change your mindset, be ready, learn the language, learn the culture, understand how things are going to be there for you and the dynamics, and understands that all the suffering, all the struggles are gonna pass, and the new ones are gonna come. And you gotta be ready. You have to be prepared, and you have to always have the strong mindset of, I am learning. This is a win-win situation for me. Doesn't matter what, doesn't matter who, and yeah, and just be strong, because struggles are always going to be there. And if you don't know how to put up with, you're gonna miss your life. You're gonna miss the beautiful moments, which is walking under the bridge here and really enjoying the view. It's a beautiful place. I don't want to miss it just because I gotta make money, I gotta work, and no, I'm actually enjoying fully what I'm here for. It's just not about the money or learning the culture or the language. It's also learning about yourself. Once you put yourself in this new place, in this new environment, what are the things that from your childhood, from your family, from the things that you have been studying, how all of that is going to impact your life? It's going to come up to your brain and to your mind whenever you're lonely, whenever you're going through something. That's the beauty of all of this experience. And so knowing this, knowing that it's going to be great, doesn't matter what, it's a way to be safe, to stay grounded, and to develop yourself, because you don't want to be the immigrant that goes to another country and stays stuck. You know, they spend 10 years there, they don't have any money, they didn't learn anything, they have no degrees, no course completion, like they don't have anything, they haven't accomplished anything. What are you doing? Like, why would you change to another place if you're not even willing to learn? And then there's always the other side, and I'm sure there's going to be people here saying, oh, but it's so difficult, it is so difficult. I had people in my family saying, you cannot judge me because I don't speak the language, you cannot attack me because I don't speak the language. What are you doing here? What are you doing here if you're not willing to accept and learn from this? You shouldn't be here. And unfortunately, we have people like this everywhere, and they put the others down and they criticize the others, and they're, you know, what are you doing? How is going your life? You know, my client says that I should always post videos on YouTube. And I was like, I don't know. I wasn't sure if I wanted to be a public person. And I don't know how this is going to go. I hope it goes well. But I was like, you know what? In this point, I'm not even just doing because, okay, I'm going to post videos or whatever. I am doing because I truly believe that these ideas, these informations are so valuable to just keep it for myself. There is a lot of people that are struggling in many ways. And just by listening to somebody that went through the same thing can save their life, can bring an insight that is going to change everything. So that's what I'm doing here. And if you enjoyed this video, if you learned anything from this, please leave on the comments and give a like, subscribe, and I hope I can see you next time. Ciao.